Hi, students. I want to give you a short demo today of something that is, this is not actually uh, specifically in our curriculum. It's not something you're going to be tested over, but it is something uh, that I think you should expect to be able to do if you take GIS class. You might find it useful for your impacts project as well. But what we're going to do today is something. It's a really straightforward thing, and ArcGIS Pro has made this even more streamlined. And what it is we are going to just simply learn um, how to add GPX files. How to add GPX files to our map. So GPX, of course, is what your GPS unit records or what your phone records. It's a type of file that simply records your track that you travel when you have your GPS on. So I'm going to start by sharing the screen and go over to our software because I have opened ArcGIS Pro, and for the sake of something, I don't know what, but I'm not going to open any of these. I'm just going to go blank map, and we're going to store this. I don't like it when it tries to store it in the ArcGIS folder. I would much prefer it to store in the in our class projects folder. So I'm going to go into here and going to store it in class projects, and we'll just call it GPX to FC, which stands for GPX to feature class. Again, this is just a GPS file, and this new map is gonna open in Northwest Arkansas. I was doing something the other night where I needed those more, and so okay, there's our map. We got nothing in it, and it's okay. So the first thing we need to do is we need to find our GPX files. Um, Now, these could have been GPX files that you created yourself. You could download them off of your phone or off of a Garmin unit or something, but we can also find them on the web. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a website called the Mountain Bike Project. Or I'm sorry, it's just called mtbproject.com, mtbproject.com. And so you can look up stuff in Washington State or Colorado or whatever, but we can also look up Arkansas. So I'm just going to go for something in Springdale because there's a ton in Bella Vista, there's a ton in Bentonville, there's a ton in Fayetteville. So I'm going to go kind of split the difference. And we're going to go Fitzgerald Mountain, which are fairly new trails in Springdale, in the northeastern part of Springdale. So I'm going to zoom into these, and you notice that there's several named trails. This one's called the best trail ever. And let's see, this one's called just Fitzgerald. That's called the Butterfield Trail. This is called Coyote Cave. So we're going to go ahead and download like 3 of these. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to click on best trail ever. And it's going to take me to the page for best trail ever. It gives me a rating, a map at that page. I haven't, but at the bottom, you'll notice that there's a little toolbox, how to get there, But here we go, download GPX file. So we're going to hit this. I'm going to download the GPX file. It may ask you to sign in as a member. So you might have to go through some membership stuff to do that, but it's all free stuff. Notice that I'm in Chrome browser and it downloaded as best trail ever right there. So rather than do this whole process and then come back to here, I'm just going to do I'm going to do this 3 times. I'm going to download the Coyote Cave GPX file. So now I've got 2 of them there, Coyote Cave, best trail ever. And then I'm going to scoot over to this trail, one of these small trails here called Bridges Out. Bridges Out, Double Diamond. So there's a guy doing something that I will never be doing on mountain bike or anything else, but we'll download this GPX file. Okay, so we got 3 GPX file, and I'm going to come down here, and rather than open these, I'm going to say show in folder. So now in my downloads folder, I've got these three trails here. So now what I'm going to do is go to my geoprocessing tab. Now, if you don't have a geoprocessing tab yet, you can go to analysis and click on tools, and it will open up the geoprocessing pane. But I have a geoprocessing pane docked because you will wind up using it again and again and again. So to find my tool that I want, I'm just going to say GPX, and when I typed GPX, it came up GPX to features. So I'm going to click on that tool that says GPX to features. And now it says input GPX file. I don't have a GPX file in my map, but a nice thing is that I can just go in here and slide that into there. And now my output feature class is called Best Trail Ever GPX to features. Well, I'm going to change the name to that. I have a geodatabase here, and so I think maybe I will just put it in that geodatabase, and we're going to call this Best Trail Ever Points, because this GPX file is going to download as points instead of a line. So we're going to save that. We're going to run it. And after it's run, it's going to put those points on my map, and it's zoomed to them. And so there's the points. Now it looks like a random set of points, but they are actually one of their attributes. It's a hidden attribute, is that they are in order. So when it's time to connect these dots, it will know which ones to connect. Okay, so I'm going to go back, hit that again, and we're going to put in the Coyote Cave. And looks like it's stored in the same place. So I'm just going to call this Coyote Points. Run it. And finally, back. And then to there. And then what's my last one? Bridges out. And so let's name this BRDG out points. I'm going to save that, run it. Now those points aren't going to show up along these because they are farther to the south along the mountain. They're down there. So in my contents now, I have 3 sets of points. Connecting these is actually really, really easy. I just have to go back to my geoprocessing, and this time I'm going to search points to line. I started searching points, and the first thing came up, points to line. So what are my input features? My input features are Best Trail Ever, and that's going to go in this same geodatabase, and I'm going to name this Best Trail Ever line. So eventually I'm going to get rid of those points. I'm not even going to need the points. I'm going to leave all this alone, and I'm going to run it, and it connected them. Now I'm going to do that 2 more times. I'm going to do Coyote Points and change that to Coyote Line. Run it. And then we're going to do the bridge out, and we'll call it bridge outline. Run it. So now we have 3 lines. Let's look at our table of content. Look at our contents pane. We don't need the points. And now we've got these three trails. This does not touch that one because that's a junction called, I think it's called 5 points. But anyway, now we can do whatever we want with these lines. We can make them we can make them bigger. We can make them a 2-point line. Make it a somewhat different color. So I'm going to make Best Trail or Bridge Out is going to be yellow. And then we'll make the Coyote, we'll make that a bright pink. and we'll make best trail ever a bright blue. What I'm doing is I'm going to make them something that will contrast with my background, which is eventually going to be imagery. So we've got them there, and of course our base map is this topo here, Fitzgerald Mountain in Springdale. But of course we can change our base map, and I'm going to go to imagery. And there's the best trail ever. Click on it, tells me best trail ever. You can see there's not a whole lot of stuff in the attribute file. There's the Coyote Cave, and then down here is the bridge out. And we can zoom into these, but this photo was not taken in the wintertime, which is when air photos should be taken. So we can't see things quite as well with that. You might see some rock exposures if it was taken in the wintertime. So now we've got those in our map, and we can manipulate them, and that was it. GPX to line. I'm going to post this and put a few other bit of instructions down there. If you want to get updated wintertime imagery, then we would do the thing where we go insert a connection, new ArcGIS server, and we go to the Arkansas GIS server. And I'm going to have to look that up because I never remember it, but it is linked in module 1. Oops, links for module 1. And we're just going to copy that link there and paste it into our server. We'll connect. Now we have a server that's ArcGIS on Arkansas government.ags, and we're going to go to image services, and we're going to put in the 2017 1-foot imagery, which is some pretty powerful stuff, and we'll get a little bit better imagery than what we have here, if for nothing else, because it is wintertime. Also, hard to beat 1-foot resolution on your photography. Takes a while because this is a streaming service, and we're talking about a lot of storage space here. We're talking about large files that we're streaming and bandwidth there. So I'm going to pause the video for a second. No, it don't allow me to pause. It'll just make me stop, and I don't want to do that. So it's going to take a while to add that. But you'll get the idea. I am going to go ahead and stop the recording so I can put this up here, and it's pretty short. GPX to line on your, oh, and here it comes. So this is a little bit better imagery. Wintertime, we can actually see maybe some of the other traces on there. Can't really see that one. But this looks like it's something, maybe it's a private trail. But anytime, wintertime, anyway, wintertime is better imagery and probably better resolution as well. Let's bridge out. Oops. We can see this imagery is so good, I can see the power lines going through there. There is a small park there. I believe it's, I believe it's called Bayare Park, which is where you park to access those trails. So the last 2 minutes of this recording were probably a little extraneous.